Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another tutorial. It's me, IJ, and here is IJ Designs. Today's tutorial is just a simple one. I would like to say a very big thank you to all my subscribers, my amazing family, new and old subscribers. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for your comments and your likes. Thank you, my wonderful family. And if you have not subscribed, please hit on the red button and put on the notification bell that whenever I upload, you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And consider subscribing because it is free. Guys, I just decided to DIY this with you guys. It's a leftover material that I have, so I want to use it to achieve this project. So here is our starting point. So let me mark our starting point. This is our starting point. You can see it's so little material, but it's going to be enough for what we want to DIY now. So, like I said, it's a quick one. It's an off-shoulder top with a balloon sleeve. It's so simple to achieve. So now here is our starting point. I'll just place my tape. Here is my tape. I want the off shoulder to be 5 inches, but I'll place 4.5 to use the other half for my seam allowance. Then the length of the top, I'm going to make full use of the length that I have is 23, including folding at the down part of it. So that's the length. So let me insert my chest line 8 inches, my waist 16.5, my hip 22, and 1 inch as the seam. So now guys, the next thing to do is to, how do we want the wide to be, the opening? I'm going to use 5 inches. So I'll place 5 inches here. Normally I use 5 inches to place, to make my off shoulder. Bustier off shoulder, I go with 5 inches. So here on the starting point now, I'll place 5 inches. That is going to be the how wide I want it to be. So I place my 5 inches plus ½ inch to turn it to the back. So here, that is my chest line. I'm going to measure my bust measurement. My bust is 38 divided by 4. You have 8 and you have 9.5. So I'm going to place my 9.5 here. I place my 9.5. Let me rule it so that you can see it. And that's the waist. And that's the hip. So now guys, and this is the 1 inch to turn it. So guys, I'm going to place my bust measurement on the chest line, which is the armhole line. So once my bust 9.5, I place 9.5 here. I'll add only 1 inch seam allowance because I want it to be a little bit fitted, not all that loose, plus 1 inch seam allowance. So on my hip here, I'm going to add my hip, on my waist, sorry, I'm going to add my waist measurement, which is, my waist is 34 divided by, my waist is 34 divided by 4. You are going to have 8.5. So this is my 8.5 plus 1 seam allowance. And on my hip, 10.5 because it's 42 divided by 4, 10.5 plus also 1 seam. Do you see it? You are good to go. So now let's connect our lines. So I connect it. That's the armhole. And from here, I connect to my waist. Connect it to my waist. And from there, I connect to my hip. If you want, you can decide to add 2 inches as seam allowance. It's also okay, but I would like to add 1. That is the only seam allowance. Or guys, let's add 1 inch as is. So now pick up your tape, measure 1 inch as is, because it's going to be a little bit free. 1 inch. Also here we add 1 inch, and also at the down we add 1 inch. So let's connect it back. If you like, you keep it to 1 inch as seam allowance. Then if you want, you add ease to it. So now we add ease. For those of you that would like to keep it at 1, this is the measurement you need. For those that would like to add ease to it to make it to be a little bit free, that is the one you need, the extra 1 inch that we now add. You are good to go. So guys, let us now cut our material. So now, coming to the neckline, what kind of neck do you want? Do you want a sweetheart neck, or you want it to be straight in this form, or do you want a sweetheart? Let us see what we need. I would like it to be a sweetheart. So what do? Just come down by 1 inch. If you want, you can keep it in this form. If you want, you can add your 1 inch. So now I'll come down by 1 inch because I want it to be a sweetheart. So I'll use my curve just to, from this point now, from this point that will now connect it here, or you want, you can connect from here. So now we have connected it to be a sweetheart neckline. Do you see it? If you want it to be straight, just cut it the way I'm cutting it. If you want it to be sweetheart, just go with the sweetheart. Now guys, I've cut it out. Guys, but here I don't want it to be so deep like this, so I'm going to come up by 1 inch or 1.5 inch. So I came up by 1.5 inches because I don't want it to be so deep like that. So I'm going to connect it to here. So I cut it out. Do you see it, guys? Remember, I folded it both the front and back together. The front and the back, I folded it together because it's a free top. It doesn't need zip allowance, so I fold it together. So now, guys, check out our top. Do you see it? Now guys, I've cut our top. Do you see it? So simple to cut, so easy. So the next thing now is to cut out our balloon sleeve. I'll make the maximum use of my material. Now guys, I would like to make use of the remaining material as my sleeve. So let's check what I have here. I have by width 15. And I'll measure also here 15. So, and the length I have 18.5. So it's okay. When I now add elastic at the down, it's going to bounce up. So now I'm going to measure it out. Just measure it out to get my equal 15. So I now take just take your top. That's the top. That's the easiest way to cut out this type of sleeve. Just place it. Do you see it? Place it in this form. Just trace it out. and join it to the length. Do you see it? So our sleeve is ready. So the next thing to cut it out, this is just a simple top that can be used casually. So let's cut it out. Any measurement of your sleeve, you can go with it. Any length you want. Being balloon, it has to be much. It has to be exaggerated. Do you see it, guys? So here there be elastic also. I'll add elastic. Just measure your biceps and divide it by 2. Get your elastic and insert it here. And also I will insert the elastic at the down part. So now our sleeve is ready. I'm going to also use this to cut out another sleeve. So that's our sleeve. That's our sleeve. So we'll keep it aside and also cut out our facing. I believe we all know how to cut our facing. Just fold it in the way you folded the main fabric. Keep it in this form and take your material, that is your panels, fold them and place it. Do you see it? Just place it exactly the way it is. Trace it out and you cut it, and also add some allowances down, how many inches you want it to be. So now I'm going to do it and show to you guys. Now guys, I've cut out my facing. That's the facing. So the next thing to do now is to fix them together. So I'm going to take it to the machine. Just take the 1 inch allowance that we left, close it up. Also the sleeve, I will close it up with also 1 inch allowance, and on the upper side I'll close it and insert our elastic, and also at the down part I'm going to close it and also insert our elastic, and I'll fix it to our top, and our top is ready. Then remember to use the facing to turn the neck. You can work it out with bias, but I want to use facing, so I'll use facing to turn it. Just let me show to you guys. Take the facing, the right side facing each other. Do you see it? The right side facing each other. That is it. Then you sew it this way. You also do the same to this, after which you close up the sides. After which you close up the sides and also close the sleeve, add your elastic, then join it together, and I'll show to you guys the end results. Now guys, this is our sleeve. Do you see it? That's our sleeve. I folded the down parts and I kept 1 inch opening where to insert our elastic, and also at the upper side that will be used to attach to the shoulder, I've also folded it, and here I will pass through my elastic. Like I said, measure your biceps, divide it in 2. Whatever you have, use it to cut out your elastic and insert it here. Then after inserting it here, our body is ready. That is the panel. Do you see it? That is the main panel, the front and the back panel. Do you see it? I've used the facing to turn it. Do you see the sweetheart? You can decide to have sweethearts on the front, and at the back you decide to make it straight. The choice is yours. It's just a simple one, a casual one that within 20 minutes you are through with it. So I've hemmed it. So the next thing now is just to insert our elastic. Just measure your elastic, insert it. I will insert it and also now join it to the armhole that is here. I will insert the elastic on the sleeve and join it to the armhole, and I'll show to you guys how it looks like. Now guys, I want to show you something while attaching your elastic. Do you see it? While attaching the elastic from this end of the sleeve, from this end try to safeguard it. Sew it to the sleeve. Do you see it now? Do you see mine? Sew it so that here will be where to join to the main body and the elastic will not show. And that's the other side also. Do you see it? Sew it up. When you put it in, you sew it. Sew it here. Then this is where you are going to join to your sleeve to be neat. Do you see it? That's the elastic to join to the shoulder. I'll do it now and show to you guys the end result. Now guys, this is the end result of our off-shoulder top with balloon sleeves. So simple and gorgeous to behold. You can also decide to rock it with your belt. In any form you choose, it looks beautiful. If this tutorial has been helpful to you, don't forget to share with your friends, your family. Give me a giant thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. Subscription is free. Grow this channel with me. Help me to establish this channel. I love you guys and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.